What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? I know it's been a while, but we are here for a flashback, a retro review. Falcon Crest Season 3, Episode 14. So listen, baby Angela's still mad about the fact that she ain't running Falcon Crest, okay? She's mad that Chase has decided that they're going to do some champagne. Okay, they're going to sell some champagne. Now, in retrospect, I really don't understand why she was so mad about that. But she said, listen, we don't do champagne. We do wine. So, I'm not a, wine enthusiast. Is champagne like a bastard to wine or something? Like, is there something downgraded about them making champagne? But neither here nor there, Angela wasn't here for it, okay? And Angela made it her business to buy all of the grapes that Chase was going to buy to make the champagne. Because, a certain type of grapes. So, all the people in the valley that make them kind of grapes, she bought it up. Even though some of them had made deals with Chase. But y'all know Angela don't care. Money talks and you know what walks, right? So she bought up all them daggone grapes, honey. And of course, Chase gets mad at her. And he tells her, listen, you are not supposed to be interfering in the affairs of Falcon Crest. And she said, I'm not. Like, I'm still in the wine business. It just don't have to be Falcon Crest. And he was like, what you going to do with all them grapes? She said, I don't know. I might sell them at auction. I mean, you can buy them back. Angela be doing it. Oh, Angela just be doing so much, child. Now, Mr. Cipriani is still down to the hospital, and Cole and his wife try to go visit him, but he is just not here for it. He is just not ready to, make amends with her, even though he had a whole heart attack and almost died. And Michael, who's the doctor, told him, listen, everybody needs somebody sometime, and your daughter loves you, and you really need to make it up to her. You really need to fix this, okay? Now, Richard has seized land through eminent domain for this racetrack. And, of course, it has to be Falcon Crest land. It's not, And so Angela and Chase are up in arms about it. Chase tries to go to the council, which he is a part of, to try to get the whole election overturned. He was like, listen, he misled, Richard misled the people of the county. They didn't really understand. He's manipulating the eminent domain law to seize property and land that don't belong to him. And baby, the council was like, Richard was like, well, I really feel like Chase needs to excuse himself from this particular situation because, it involves Falcon Crest and he's biased. And they were like, we agreed. Like, you're a little biased, Chase. And Angela told Chase, listen, when I was in charge of Falcon Crest, I ran this valley. I'm not understanding why you're not in charge. Who's in charge of the girls, Chase? Because you're not. And of course, Chase sitting there looking all stupid and dumbfounded, child. But anyway, so that's what had happened with that. Maggie is still investigating Chase's mama, but the more and more she investigates and the deeper and deeper she gets, baby, she don't find nothing good. And somebody is following her, probably somebody from the agency, the office, that little secret organization that she was the head of, that Richard is, piece of, whatever. So that's one thing. And then she went to Michael, and Michael was like, listen, I really don't have nothing. I knew her. She was my, my auntie or whatever, but I didn't really know her like that. And so Maggie's like, look, I guess I'm just going to drop this story. She goes to Emma and tells Emma, this is impossible. I feel like I need to drop this story because I don't know what to do with this information. It's just too much. And Emma said, girl, you'll figure out what to do. But in the meantime, and in between time, what's up with Michael? Because, I like him. And Maggie was like, girl, I don't know what to tell you. But, Terry is living there. And I don't know what Michael sees in Terry. Because she my sister, but she is a skank. And I've been trying to tell him, but he's not listening. Now, mind you, Michael and Terry are really together. But they're trying to fake like they not together. But they really are. So Maggie is like, my sister is using him because she's letting him, he's letting her live there, whatever. But it's a mutually beneficial arrangement as far as I'm concerned. Because Michael getting what he wants. And I don't think he's fooled by Terry. Like, I do think that he thinks Terry cares for him. But I don't think he's fooled into thinking that Terry is madly in love with him. Y'all know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, she decides that she's just going to drop it. So she tells Chase that she's going to drop it. It's just boring. It's, she said she just don't want to work for Richard no more. And he was like, now hold on. You knew Richard won't ish when you went up there to get that job. So what's really good? What's really going on? And she was like, okay, fine. I mean, if you want me to be really real and really honest about the situation, yeah, I'm not finding nothing nice about your mama. And I really don't want to do this expose and expose your mama further because I don't have nothing nice to say. I mean, she married a Nazi sympathizer who made all of his money off of them. Then he wanted to divorce her, but miraculously he turned up dead. She said, now I'm not saying that she unalived that man. I'm just saying it is very curious. Okay, it is a very curious situation. And then, you know, she basically made it her business to put anybody out of business that didn't go along with her business. Okay, and you know, Chase said, listen, I mean, she my mama, but I really need to know these things. Like, I really never knew a lot about her. And if this is who she is, this is who she is. You know, we'll work through it. But, you know, carry on. You know, carry on. So she's going to keep working, which is going to put her in danger. So I'm sure we are brewing into that. Now, Richard bribes his way into Julia's room. And remember, Julia's down at the mental hospital. They got her out of the jail, but she's at the mental hospital. And he bribes his way in to talk to her. Now, I'm not understanding what's going on with this situation. I'm a little confused by this. He basically, he tells Julia that he's about to be a daddy, and that he's the father of Melissa's baby, which of course sets Julia off. Now, I'm not understanding why. I'm not understanding what the purpose was of doing that. But neither here nor there. He sets Julia off, which of course sets her back. Maybe he just don't want her to get better and get out. I don't know. But the doctor goes by Falcon Crest to let the family know that Julia is in a catatonic state because she had a visitor. And of course that nurse got fired, child. But she got a little bit of money from Richard. So I guess, I don't know how much he paid her. But I hope it was worth your job, girl. I hope it was worth your job. Emma looked like she liked this doctor a little bit. So I was surprised that she was still stuck on Michael the way she was, because she was flirting a little bit with Julia's doctor. And he actually seemed to be a little receptive, because later on in the episode, Emma sashays herself on up to Michael's office to tell him that she's in love with him. And of course he had to let her down gently, but nevertheless he had to let her know, Emma, that's really cute and sweet and all, but I don't really feel the same way, and I'm sorry that you feel that way, and I don't reciprocate it. My bad. Now, while this is going on, Melissa and Lance are getting ready for their divorce, deposition for their divorce. Not divorce, the custody hearing with Cole, right? Cole is suing them for custody of Joseph. Now, personally, joint custody maybe, but I don't know about full custody. But neither here nor there. Cole and his wife then bought a house, I guess, to look more ready for a child. And Philip has been prepping Melissa and Lance, getting them ready for the deposition. But the night before the deposition, Michael is working late at the hospital. So since Michael is working late at the hospital, Terry decides that she need to go on a little rendezvous with Lance, baby. She called up to Falcon Crest with the old fake, you left your credit card down to the restaurant, somebody need to come pick it up line. Everybody know he's lying. So Lance goes out the house. Angela talking about something, your deposition is tomorrow. He said, I'll make sure I get a good night's sleep. Baby, he walks up out that door just as nice. Melissa gonna turn to Angela and say, you just gonna let him walk out the door like that? Baby, Angela looked at Melissa and said, I was just getting ready to ask you the same thing. He your husband. I said, you know what? Baby, I cackle. Okay? I cackle. Okay? Baby, Lance has his little rendezvous down to the hotel with Terry. And he does come home. And while he's gone down to the rendezvous with Terry, of course, Melissa knows that he out with another woman. So she tries to sashay her way over to Richard. And Richard is done with her. Number one, all Richard really wanted from her was to secure the grapes, right? Number two, he know that he ain't the daddy of that baby because he's had a vasectomy. So the chances are slim to none that that's his child. But he's letting Melissa play her little game. But at this point, I think he's just kind of over it. He's not reciprocating. He's not trying to be sexy with her. She tries to kiss him. He barely kisses her back. And so he was like, look, Melissa, you know and I know that you did not come down here for sex. So what is it that you want? She was like, well, I need a down payment. Are you still going to buy my grapes? Well, I need a down payment. Now, I really do think Melissa went down there for some sex, because Lance is out doing what he doing, and I think she wanted, you know, to feel like she was doing what she was doing. So the fact that Richard felt like that's not why she was there, I felt kind of bad for Melissa, because I was like, but that is why she's there. That's exactly why she's there. But neither here nor there, child. Anyway, she gets sent home, but he does send her home with a check. He does give her some money for her grapes, child. And like I said, Lance does come home that night. Melissa tries to roll over and get her a little piece. Lance tells her to go to sleep. So poor Melissa, she done got rejected by her husband and her side man. I was gonna say his mistress, but I guess it wouldn't be a mistress. Her mister. I don't know. Neither here nor there, child. The next day, they go in there for their deposition, and baby, Cole's attorney did his homework. And baby Cole's attorney knew that Melissa was having an affair with Richard Channing and exposed it. Now, here's the thing. I think Lance suspected, but Lance didn't have confirmation. Okay? And baby Melissa tried to lie and lie and lie, and she finally had to just be like, yes! Yes! I'm sleeping with Richard Channing. I said, ooh, girl, this gonna be a whole mess now that it's out. Hold on. I think I'm almost done. I think we're almost at the end of this episode. Oh, I did it in 10 minutes. Look at me. So we go to the groundbreaking of the land that Richard is done seized from Falcon Crest in the eminent domain, and we have this whole scene where, you know, Angela shows up and she eats a grape off the vine and talking about how long the family's been in her how long this land's been in her family for 3 generations. And then Chase shows up, and Chase is just so upset. Baby Chase stands in front of the bulldozer to the point where the police had to come and arrest him and Cole. I said, now listen, now Chase. Now, personally, I do think that Richard stole that election. I think Richard bribed them people, and I do not think he legit won that election. And I think that's eventually what we're going to find out. But in the meantime, in the between time, he was sitting up top of that daggone, what the thing's called? It's not an excavator. Whatever them things called, it was digging up them vines. He broke ground, and he was digging up them vines. So, baby, it's a whole situation. But anyway, that was episode 14, season 3. I know it's been a while, but, you know, I try to get in where I get in, y'all. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.